Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Music Hole. My name is Cole, and I'm excited because today we're talking about one of my favorite albums of all time. I played this over and over again my freshman year of college back in 2004, 2005. This is Let Go by Nada Surf. And as far as I'm concerned, this band has really gotten overlooked for some reason. I would describe the sound as basically alternative pop rock, which sounds a little vaguey, I'll admit, but it's basically the best way I can describe it. Maybe like some indie rock thrown in. In the 90s they had a big hit called Popular, which was kind of like a novelty song in a way. I mean, it's a great song, but it's lyrically kind of a novelty song. So I guess that's probably why people might not have taken them seriously when this came out. But anyway, I think this is their best album. It's from 2002, I believe, 2003. And I think it's just their most consistently well-made, well-arranged, well-played album. The singing in particular is probably the best on this album compared to their other albums. The singer sounds a lot more sincere on this record than he does on, say, Lucky or The Weight is a Gift, which are also very good. I mean, don't get me wrong. But anyway, so I'm just excited to talk about it, and I hope that you guys like it. So with that said, I've got some clips lined up, so let's dive right in.
In the blizzard of 77, the cars were just lumps on the snow. And then later, tripping in 7-Eleven, the shelves were stretching out of control.
I mean, oh my goodness, like that opening is just so heavenly sounding. I mean, the production on this song is just like, it's just a whole nother level in my opinion. It's just such a great sound. The effects on the guitar, and just even his singing is great. I mean, the lyrics aren't necessarily anything to write home about. It's not really about much in particular. But just the sound of this song, it's a great opening. It just gets you right in the mood. But this album is really interesting, in my opinion, because it's relatively diverse. Not only in the sound of each song, but also they explored a lot of different types of lyrics, as you'll see. But that's all I have to say about track 1, Blizzard of 77. So let's move on to track number 2, called Happy Kid.
I'm just a happy kid, stuck with the heart of a sad punk, drowning in my id, always searching like it's on junk. No matter who I hang out with, I can hear the clack-clunk of the chains that pull the cars up the roller coaster, mountain top so high. When it comes down, it shoots back up, straight back to the sky.
Yeah, so Happy Kid is just a really fun, really energetic song. It's really memorable. It's a great second track. And as I said, it's a very different sound from Blizzard of 77. But the lyrics they're slightly hard to grasp. But if I interpret it correctly, it sounds like this guy is kind of going up and down, emotion-wise, in the sense that like maybe he's even bipolar to some extent, because he mentions he's on the roller coaster ride going up, and then it goes down, and then it goes up again, and so his life is just like just a series of ups and downs. There's no like consistency, there's no normalcy maybe. He doesn't necessarily have to be bipolar, but he could just be like seasonally depressive. Like in the winter for me, I'm generally depressed but in the spring, I'm generally happy. So, that could be what he's talking about. I could be wrong, but it made me think of that. But just in general, a really cool song. But track 3 is called Inside of Love. And I imagine, aside from Popular, their hit single, this is probably their most well-known song. It sounds like a song that you should know, if that makes any sense. Like, it just sounds like one of those songs to me where it might have been a hit in another parallel universe or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I got a cool clip from it. So let's check it out.
I wanna know what it's like on the inside of love. I'm standing at the gates, I see the beauty above.
I've always thought this song was pretty interesting because it seems to be about a guy who really wants to fall in love and experience the wonders of being in love, but he's also really nervous. He doesn't say it on this clip, but like right after this verse, he mentions, I know the last page so well that I don't read the first, which is such a great line. I mean, essentially, what he's saying is that, why bother trying to get in a relationship when you have no idea whether it's going to work out, whether you're going to grow old together, whether you're going to die old together, and that kind of thing. So he wants to love somebody, he wants to feel that feeling, but he's also not willing to endure the pain and the sadness of a possible breakup. So he's in a way, he's kind of a coward, that might be a little bit strong, but let's just say that. So yeah, this poor guy, he's got to just give it a shot, and if it works out, it works out. But anyway, just a really lovely sounding song. It's just so memorable. But track 4, the next track, is called Fruit Fly. And it's a really different, interesting, playful song. Not only musically, but lyrically. Because he imagines himself as a fruit fly, as we'll see in the clip. I don't want to spoil it just yet, so let's just check it out.
Left, straight, right, straight. I can't find the reason. I know I keep going, but I can't find the reason. Nothing looks right, nothing smells right. I can't land. Geometric patterns smearing out of control. Only have enough gas left for the beer can to the bowl. What can you do but go on?
Just such a great philosophical song, in my opinion. I mean, it's so true. He's inhabiting the body and the life of a fruit fly who seems to be living with no direction. Fruit flies don't even live very long. But really the point is, what he's getting at is, he's living his life. He's forced to live his life, as we all are. Unless we kill ourselves, we're just living our lives. Or we're living our lives until we die. So he's thinking about this, and he's like, at the moment, I have no reason to keep going. And it's really messing him up, because because not only is he forced to keep going, but he doesn't have the energy, like mentally or physically, to do it. He's just really struggling. He's probably really depressed. And as he says, he only has enough gas left from the beer can to the bowl, which is a funny line. You know, so he's just taking things like one day at a time, it seems like, as we all do. You know, this poor guy, he's directionless, and he's just taking it a day at a time. So it's a really cool song. It's really different, and I appreciate that. But that's all I have to say about it. So with that said, let's move right along.
Do you ever feel like you just landed on this earth? You see the creatures all do their dances back and forth. You get restless and then you join them on the floor. Suddenly it's tomorrow, it's not today anymore. It's not today anymore. You talk to the ceiling every day. The speakers are shaking. Why do I hear you okay? They're playing songs at the long speed. It sounds right now. What are you doing to me?
Okay, so I skipped Blonde on Blonde, track 5, which is a great song. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't have much to say about it, so I skipped it. But track 6 is definitely, easily, the monster song on the album. It's just so epic. It's called High Speed Soul, and it kind of has to do with Fruit Fly a little bit, just in the sense that this guy feels completely disconnected. He feels directionless. You know, he feels like an alien visiting Earth, in the sense that, like, he doesn't fit in. He doesn't know how to fit in. He just sees, you know, as he says, the creatures all doing their dances, and he joins in. So, like, he's following the crowd just because, you know, he doesn't know what else to do, I guess, is what it sounds like. And he's just kind of living his life. Just perhaps he's tribalized a little bit. Perhaps he's just, you know, doing what everyone else is doing with no real direction. And as he says, you know, suddenly it's tomorrow. It's not today anymore. So, like, the days are just going by. Nothing is standing out for him in each day. Like, every day is just kind of a blur. Yeah, so this guy is just like a mess. He has no direction in his life. He's just like barely making it through his existence. But anyway, this is just a great song. Like, the hooks in the song are incredible. The chorus is amazing. Just the whole sound in general. It's just one of my favorite songs of all time, at least from the 2000s. So yeah, one of my favorites. But with that said, that's all I have to talk about. So let's move on to the next song.
I want you. I need you. I'd love to love you. I want you. I need you. I'm begging to beg you. Out in the corner, you're glowing white.
So I skipped another song, Killing's Red, another good song. But The Way You Wear Your Head is the one that really interested me, that I wanted to talk about. And again, we're getting a little philosophical with these lyrics. I really like them. You know, he says, I want you, I need to need you. I'd love to love you, which is kind of a sad lyric. I mean, essentially what he's saying is maybe he doesn't have the capacity to love for some reason, but he knows that like he needs to love somebody because that's what everyone else does. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, you know, it's what everyone else does, but also if he doesn't find somebody, he's essentially going to grow old by himself and he's going to die alone, right? He's going to have no family, essentially. You know, maybe he has friends, but possibly not. So he wants to want this person. He wants to be able to love somebody. But again, he's really messed up for some reason, and he just cannot like establish a connection with another human being. So I don't know what's wrong with this guy, but this poor guy, geez Louise. But anyway, that's all I have to say about it. So let's move right along.
So quiet, so quiet. It's neither heaven nor space, it's just high. And the ring around the moon looks like light and love, neither of which I get enough of.
So that's Neither Heaven Nor Space, which has, again, just a really lovely sound. And I like the singing on this song in particular. But again, you have this guy, as I mentioned, who is, I guess, incapable of falling in love. And as he says in the song, you know, it's so quiet, it's neither heaven nor space, it's just high. And it seems like he might be drowning his sorrows with drugs or alcohol or whatever it is, you know. Because he says the ring around the moon looks like love, looks like light and love, which he doesn't get enough of. So like this guy is just living his life without any romantic connection, possibly without even any real friendship connection. Although that might be a little bit of a stretch. But just in general, like this guy, you know, you might even go as far as to say he could be a sociopath in that sense. There's something wrong with him. He's just incapable of falling in love. And as he mentioned in an earlier song, he's also afraid to even try. Because remember earlier on he said that he knows the last page so well, he's afraid of reading the first, which again is a great line. So not only is he incapable, but he's afraid to be let down, essentially. So this poor guy, this poor man. So another really cool song. The next song is in French, and I have no idea what it's about. So I'm not going to even give it a shot. but it's a cool song. I don't even know how to pronounce it. So the next track we're going to talk about is Treading Water. So let's check it out.
Movies like zoos. Try another me and I will try another you. I'll put my arms around you like I think you want me to. But tell me what you're thinking, I so often misconstrue. Treading water, treading white wine, seeing borders, seeing straight lines. I get these feelings that I don't have much time, always rushing, always late.
That's Treading Water, which is just one of my favorite songs on the album. Just it's the whole package for me. And I like it lyrically, especially because our guy, our hero, I guess now he's got an interest in a girl, but he has no idea like what moves to make. He has no idea what she's thinking, you know, because as he says, should I put my arms around her like she might want him to? And he feels like he's running out of time, as he says at the end of the clip. He's always rushing, he's always late. So like that means two things to me, right? He's always rushing, he's always late, in the sense that like he feels like he's running out of time. You know, maybe he's reaching his middle age. And you know, when you start reaching middle age, you start thinking about marriage and having a kid, and do I want to have a kid when I'm like in my 40s and things like that. So that's one way I think about it. And then the other way would be he's always rushing, he's always late, in the sense that like he has no idea what he's supposed to do in the moment. Like he's always doing too much of something or not enough of something. You know, he's just completely clueless when it comes to girls, it sounds like. So there's all sorts of thoughts going on with this guy, this poor guy. So a really cool song. I like it a lot. But that's all I have to say about it. So let's move on to the last song on the album, Paper Boats, and see what happens.
Sit on a train, reading a book. Same damn planet every time I look. Try to relax and slow my heartbeat. Only works when I'm dead asleep. Been thinking and drinking all over the town. Must be gearing up for some kind of meltdown. All I am is a body floating downwind.
Oh man, our poor hero, our poor guy, you know, it's the last song on the album, so it sounds like our guy was not able to fix his problems, you know. And it sounds like he's become a drunkard to try and like escape his misery. But I like the last lyric, especially on this clip, because he says, all I am is the body floating downwind, which is a pretty powerful statement for this guy, because basically what he's saying is he feels like he has zero control over his life and over his destiny, that things are just gonna happen and there's nothing he can do about it. And as far as he's concerned, he's just completely out of luck. He's completely screwed, you know. He's incapable of love. He's incapable of even trying because he's so anxious. He's just gonna ride his life out, and it's probably gonna be a miserable life. So this poor guy, and you know, the name of the album is Let Go. So one way to think about that is maybe he needs to let go of his worries. At least his worry that if he starts a relationship, it might end badly, you know. I could be wrong about that, but I kind of made that leap, you know. That's one of the reasons it's called Let Go, possibly. But anyway, so that's the album. Again, it's just a really lovely sound. It's beautifully recorded. Some interesting, diverse sounds going on. And, you know, the lyrics are pretty relatable. You know, I'm sure we've all been through something similar, or maybe we know somebody who has similar struggles. So it's a really cool album. Probably their best album. It's my favorite, at least. So I just hope you guys like it. And again, you know, feel free to comment down below with your opinions, with your interpretations. You know, I'd love to read them. And if you like the video, please like and subscribe. It would really help out. I like making these. I like talking about these albums, and I just hope that it interests you. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Nada Surf's Let Go. So with that said, have a good one.